Good morning, y'all. Welcome to a special edition of Wrestling Wednesday. I'm your host, Chris J. Thank you guys for tuning in. Do me a favor, everybody, on your way in. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna need this to catch up. All right, thank you. If you guys want more content like this, please like, subscribe, and share. Follow us, follow me and Sal on all of our social media handles. Links are located in the description. And let's get some more subscribers up, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and pull up, get our following up, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't mind, we will sell you light and I will greatly appreciate it. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is John Cena. Whoa, that's not his name. This is John Cena Appreciation Day. We're taking a moment to uh, give our flowers to the greatest of all time, which is John Cena, the never seen 17. And also, just give everybody a heads up or preview for tonight's main event, Saturday night's main event. This is John Cena's final match, ladies and gentlemen. For those who don't know, which I don't know where you guys been, you didn't know this, John Cena is retiring. And like I said, this is his final match. And we'll get to all that. Time is in the building. Good morning, my brother. Thank you. I appreciate it. And also, I'm going to take this moment to, there we go. All right, the link is dropped. Now, usually we don't do too much of dropping the links on Wrestling Wednesday, but I think we can make an exception today, albeit we are not going to be here forever. I'm just going to let you guys know that right now. When I start to see that it is 9 o'clock Central Standard Time, we are going to start winding down. That is a fact. I wasn't a John Cena fan. I'm more of a Stone Cold Steve Austin type of guy, but John is a legend. Yes, he is. And Steve Austin is goated. Steve Austin is goated. Matter of fact, I can we can go back to WrestleMania 25. Matter of fact, we can go to the Hall of Fame ceremony the night, which was the night before. Back then when they was doing one WrestleMania per weekend. Obviously, it was Texas. It was appropriate that Stone Cold Steve Austin get inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in the great state of Texas. And after his Hall of Fame speech, obviously, we all know what Stone Cold is famous for. He opened cold ones and drunk some, but also what he did was pass uh, a can of beer to John Cena, and he obviously he drunk it. And when we saw that, we knew that was a symbolization. That may be a word. Trust me, it's too early morning to determine that. That was a symbolization of a passing of the torch. This was my generation. I carry this on my back. John Cena, now it's yours. That was from one legend to a feature legend at that particular time. So yeah, I don't have a problem with that take. Stone Cold is a legend. That is a fact. Now let me check something real quick. I hope I get this is down. Okay, that's good enough. All right, so All right, let's continue, ladies and gentlemen. What's my take on John Cena? Obviously, it was SmackDown back in July 2002. Just honestly, just a normal Thursday, and this was going when this is during the time when Kurt Angle shaved his head. Well, Kurt Angle lost a match to Edge, and Edge shaved his head, and he gained his confidence. I forgot what the pay per view was prior to that, but he took that hairpiece off and wore it with confidence. And he said, "I'm gonna do an open challenge. Whoever wants it, come come get the brass ring." And you saw this unknown guy walk down from the back. Now, back then, when it came to those matches, ladies and gentlemen, to promote the wrestler, they'll have them every now and then. They'll have a squash match where they wrestle pretty much a bunch of nobodies, Un- people we ain't never, and I do mean never heard of, and it just be a squash match. That match will last for all of 2 or 3 minutes. Then it's on to the next one if it lasts that long. So you saw this one guy walk down, and you're thinking, is this gonna be another squash match? I was like, because commentary, Michael Cole heard of him, so I was like, all right, let's watch this. Let's see where is this going. As unknown John Cena walked down the ring, my neighbors, man, Chris, Bret Hart, Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, and Jimmy Flash Snuka. What's Samoa twins? Um, Twins, the Road Warriors thing, Mankind, Teddy DiBiase. Yeah, these are some names. These are some names. These are some heavy hitters. And I tried Samoa chairs. I think you're talking about the Wild Samoans. God rest their souls. Yeah, I think you're talking about the Wild Samoans on that one. I will mention when you say the Samoan twins. D in the building. What's good, D? How you feeling, my guy? The bomb, yeah, man. And like I said, what we're gonna do is, and I have yet to watch that movie yet. The Von Erich movie, but I will. And you know, I think that's gonna be one of those things. I gotta figure out. I gotta talk to Sal. Like, how can we do that? Because granted, and when I reposition the stream to add the clips, well, that's give that's telling you how I the ingredients and how I cook behind the scenes. But I'm glad you mentioned that. I need to talk to Sal about that. Yeah, Junkyard Dog. My pops remember Junkyard Dog, and of course. My dad. Oh, but on this one, Jake the Snake for sure. My dad remember Rick the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. My dad remember that. I don't think my dad. I never heard my dad talk about Jimmy Superfly. I don't think I ever heard him talk about that. Sting. That's our time. So I know about that. Ozzy, don't know the mankind. He may know Ted DiBiase. He may know Ted DiBiase. He may know. And I don't know how my dad wouldn't know Dusty Rose if he knows all those other people. Kamala, God rest his soul, and Tony Atlas. Batista retired, Cena retired, Brock and Randy are next. Yeah, yes. Brock came back. And when Brock came back, it's like only him could go leave and come back looking more dangerous than before. Because when I saw him go against, and we could talk about that match right now. When he came back for WrestlePalooza, obviously it was in the air that he was coming back to WWE. Given all this legal stuff was behind him, if it was behind him, because more findings kept on coming out during that time. John Cena just dropped the title to Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. And on his way back out the ring, then you hear that infamous Brock Lesnar music play, and it's like, oh, he's back. And I was like, oh, he's much more. This is this needs to be tested. This needs to be studied. And I think for him, yeah, probably it was his lower body that it looks a little bit more leaner, but his upper body gave away to like I'm still that guy, and he demolished John Cena after SummerSlam. He demolished John Cena on the episode of Monday Night Raw. I forgot what who he fought, and then WrestlePalooza, the first what's what I'm looking for, the first pay per view on the ESPN app, and ironically the first match to open the pay per view, the one sided ass whooping that was. I'm like, well, you gotta be honest and tell people a story of your life during this retirement tour. What other way to mention how you got demolished by Brock Lesnar, which would be accurate statement. And in that match, from from bell to bell, not to say John Cena didn't have some moments where you're selling the idea like John Cena has a chance. I'm like, no, he doesn't. And I was like, just wait for it. Suplex City here, Suplex City there, clothesline, knock on your ass. Things, I forgot how many F5s he got hit with. And one, two, three. And if you didn't know he was going to get his ass whooped for that match, the fact that Paul Heyman was a surprise ring announcer for Brock Lesnar, personal ring announcer, all you heard was, ladies and gentlemen, the goosebumps that went through my body. I was like, ooh, this is going to hurt. And of course, John Cena said during his Chris Van Vliet interview, although that was a short match, my body thought it was forever. And I believe you. But regarding Brock and Randy, I have not seen Randy on TV for a while. I just saw the video on Twitter where he's promoting the Royal Rumble that's going to be in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And yeah, because Randy's going to have to start taking a step back because I think he's sitting at 14 world championships. And quite frankly, I don't see him winning another one. I don't. So we will see where that goes for Randy. As far as Brock, as long as Brock is going to be positioned here and there, and he's going to stay active in the weight room, he could start wrestling. He could wrestle for another 5 or 10 years, maybe longer. I'm not going to hold you guys. But that's what I think. But yeah, our the wrestlers of our time is clocking out. You got to check out. I will. I will. I 100% will. Before it was Catches Jack, he was Mankind and Do Love. Yeah, Foley is a legend. Foley is goated more ways than one. Now, going back to July 2002, you see this Johnson. You see this guy walk down the ring. Kurt Angle saying, "Who the hell are you?" He said, "I'm John Cena." I was like, "Okay." And what is the one? And Kurt Angle asked, "What is the one thing that you possess that makes you think you can walk down the rack and go against the best in the game?" And this started a new era. We heard Vince say it, but it's just probably just just words wasted by Vince McMahon. But to hear him say this, it's like, okay, this is official. The answer was ruthless aggression, and John Cena pretended to smack the fire out of Kurt Angle and give one of the most memorable debut matches that we have ever seen, especially back then, where usually WWE will prep you to let you know someone is coming, so get ready. Whereas no social media, nobody digging through the dirt sheets to see who's who, and especially this case, we were thinking this is a squash match. When you have a talent wrestler go against a no name, it's a squash match. This was anything but a squash match. This was John Cena coming out the gate and doing what he did. Did he win? No, it's Kurt Angle. We're not doing that. Let's be respectful. But what he did set the tone for the rest of his career. So much so that the wrestlers was congratulating him. And even Undertaker, ladies and gentlemen, Undertaker was the WWE World Champion, the heavyweight champion at this time, and he was a heel. This was heel Undertaker. He walked up to John Cena and was like, "What's your name, kid?" He said, "I'm John Cena." Stuck his hand out, shook his hand. He said, "Great job" or "nice job." For a heel to do that, I was like, oh, so this guy is legitimate. This guy is the future. Okay, he'll be back next week. Let's see what happens. John Cena started growing, started getting started getting his wins, got his first pay-per-view win against who I forgot who it was. Then, of course, wrestlers, although that was John Cena, you have to be a character that people can hold on to, people can remember. So what did he decide to do? Become a rapper. Ladies and gentlemen, it was a smack. It was that year. Yeah, it was. Let me see. Whatever SmackDown fell on Halloween. That's when that was. And you had John Cena come in as pretty much Vanilla Ice for Halloween. And as Vanilla Ice, every time he talked, he kept on rapping. He did that after the fact, and he started doing that in the ring. And I was like, I don't know about this. You had a great start, kid. What are you doing? And I'm calling him a kid, and I was only how old was I in 2002? See, 87, 97. I was only 15 years old. I'm calling this grown ass man a kid. That's crazy. So he started doing that, and it started to get cheesy, lame, or whatever the case may be. And he was not winning that many matches during this stages, but he kept on going. He just kept on going, kept on improving. He did it. He wore those. Y'all remember those Reeboks from back in the days where you pump it up. He wore those shoes, and slowly but surely, people started to like it and respect it. Matter of fact, if I recall correctly, it was tribute to the troops in 2003 or 2004, where in fact his promo was rapping, and his and me personally, I got annoyed with him rapping because I'm used to. Come on, let's go. After it needs to be one bar after the other, like a rap song. But like I said, this is young me. I didn't know any better. And also, he used to battle rap other wrestlers, and they would challenge him. And ironically, and then I grew to respect it because I say I watch battle rap URL, King of the Dot, and other promos. So it's like, what was I talking about? He was doing what he was supposed to do. And also back then I was used to the whole battle rap 8 Mile type of a deal. So the fact that he did it that way annoyed me, but I grew to um, get used to it or appreciate it or love it nonetheless. So with that, with that, he kept on getting better, kept on connecting to the crowd. And when he got the opportunity to show his appreciation for the U.S. military, that's when really started to take off. He did that. He kept on doing things with the military. My neighbors are tripping. I'm gonna leave that alone. So when he started doing things with the military, I remember before he repositioned himself for the United States champion. No, this was I think this was after. No, this is definitely after he won the US title. He started repositioning himself to continue to show his appreciation, how much he genuinely loves the military. And he kept on going. Matter of fact, there was one time they invited him to do some type of PT training or PTO training. I said PTO. Lord forgive me. Doing some type of PT training, and he did it out of his love and appreciation for the military, and he kept on doing it. So you got John Cena, United States champion, and if I recall correctly, who did he win that off of? I know he won it back from Carlito. I know that for a fact. But but speaking of which, to show that he was that guy, ladies and gentlemen, um, outside the ring, John Cena got stabbed, ladies and gentlemen. It was a bar fight. He got stabbed, and obviously they had to handle that. He literally almost lost his life, if I recall correctly. And obviously, you get stabbed, especially in the kidney area. Yeah, you're risking losing your life. So that shit happened. Then he was able to come back in the ring, and they repositioned that as a storyline, and whoever Santino, Santino, Carlito's right hand man was, he had to fight John Cena. He's the one that punched John Cena in the kidney. They put through the storyline he was urinating blood and that type of stuff, and John Cena wanted his revenge. And doing that, this is how you know this guy is here to stay. He repositioned that U.S. title from the traditional format to the spinning title, the spinning U.S. title. And I was like, oh, I was like, okay, this is kind of this is kind of chill. I like this. And obviously, he had the spinning John Cena chain as well. So with him doing that and gave that guy the beating, because we ain't seen that guy after that ass whooping from that pay per view, and he just rode that wave, ladies and gentlemen. Then obviously, who was his first rival of many great rivals? JBL. JBL, full flash heel, left Farouk hanging in the dust, and proceeded to go on his solo journey. And back then, JBL, I'm not gonna say he's the greatest heel, but he definitely made his mark. And they positioned JBL up for. I'm not saying they positioned him up for John Cena, but how everything fell in place was apropos and it was organic. Here comes John Cena, ladies and gentlemen. John Cena didn't win the Royal Rumble that year. That was Batista. Keep that in mind. They were the last two, but and ironically, this was Batista's grand coming as well, because those two came up at the same time, but obviously their career went in different directions. Not to say Batista had a bad career, because he is a Hall of Famer ish, but we're gonna talk about that because I have a lot to say about him being in the Hall of Fame. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I'm talking about the induction stuff, but we'll talk about that later. For John Cena to be the John Cena we know now, a lot of credit is owed to JBL. A lot of credit is owed to JBL. John Cena would not be here if it wasn't for JBL. I could say that for sure. You needed JBL to have a John Cena. So that way you can have a John Cena versus Kurt Angle, a John Cena versus Randy Orton, a John Cena versus Edge, a John Cena versus AJ Styles, a John Cena versus The Rock. It started. It none of that was going to mesh well together if it wasn't for JBL. You needed JBL at that moment in time with that storyline, with those characters. You have a if we're going by classes, you have the one heel who looks down on everybody because in real life, JBL made the right business investments and he's straight. So you have that heel who made that money, who has that type of team, who could look down on everybody, versus the young punk who raps, who wears shorts, who represents hip hop culture, the younger generation. You needed that guy to knock down the old regime at WrestleMania 21 in Los Angeles. You needed that. You needed that to happen. And it worked out perfectly. So much so, what do we have? Um Y'all remember that original WWE title belt? And what did he do? Because JBL wanted to keep that WWE title belt, and because of that, it was SmackDown. Yeah, it was SmackDown. I remember that because I don't think we had the luxury of watching Monday Night Raw back then. While JBL was trying to hold on and keep that other title, what was coming from the Raptors? The new WWE Spinny Champs title belt. That's what came down to Raptors. And what year was WrestleMania 21? Because I remember. Hold on, let me do the math real quick, y'all. I gotta do it by fingers. Forgive me. Because okay, 17. mm, Okay, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So from WrestleMania 21 was 2006. WrestleMania, because we can fact check that because I remember WrestleMania 17, which was in the Astrodome in Houston, was 2001. So just you add it from there. For just add. Geez, I can't count this morning. Yeah, so just add four more to 2001. It's actually 2005. I said 2006, 2005. Sorry. So you had that title for all the way up until The Rock decided to change it to the current format that we see today. And if I recall correctly, that was WrestleMania 29. So yeah, they had that title. They had that title formatted for 8 years. 8 years of the wrestling champ title, and every time John Cena had it, he spent it. I think they had a lock on that title to where they kept it in place because that's what most wrestlers did. So yeah, it was around '05 D. So let's think about this. The ruthless aggression era, or the PG era as they call it, was a John Cena era. What has came from those eras? What great moments have came from that? One of my great, and obviously, it's no surprise. One of my greatest moments of John Cena's, and of course, we was gonna go past the 9 o'clock morning mark. Why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised? Oh well, this is John Cena Appreciation Day. We're gonna keep it going. I'm just gonna speed out, rush, throw some clothes on, and get out this house. So, of course, my most memorable John Cena moment was WrestleMania 25. Houston, Texas. Triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship. It was Edge versus The Big Show versus John Cena. And great storytelling match from beginning to end. Now, was it match of the night? Obviously not, because match of the night so happened to be match of the year, which was Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels. The back and forth, the storytelling, the performance. You had Chavo Guerrero and Vicky Guerrero at ringside. This is when Vicky was in a wheelchair. Thank the good Lord they did not give her the microphone in that arena because I would have gone deaf. They didn't do it the night before. Glory to God. So let me say, I'll say that. And you saw John Cena take a lot of beating during that match, which I appreciate because I want to see how much ass whooping you can take to get what you want. And like I said, I'm in person. I'm there. Um, I'm not obviously not front row because the tickets. Like I always tell people, where I was at in the arena or in a stadium, it was Reliance Stadium back then. It's now NRG Stadium. If I was going to a Houston, Texas game, I was the 10th row. If I was going to the Houston, Texas game, I will be on row number 10 on the first chair on the aisle. Because I bullshit you not, ladies and gentlemen. I'm willing to challenge anybody. I was one, if not the first person to purchase a WrestleMania ticket in Houston, Texas for WrestleMania 25. I went to HEB right there on Beach on the Beltway 8. I made sure I look up where I can buy the tickets at. And they said HEB does sell it. Look, I was right there. I was waiting. It was around 9 o'clock in the morning. And soon as that service desk opened, boom, bought the ticket. I want to pay $100 for my tickets. I want to be on this row, and boom. They said here it's $115 because the ticket was $100 and whatever fee that Vince or the stadium charges is extra. Cool. Here it is. Boom. Walked out of there within minutes with my ticket. I bullshit you not. Ladies and gentlemen, Christopher J. I wanted to put this on anything. I'm one of the, if not the first person in Houston, Texas to buy a WrestleMania ticket. I'll challenge anybody on that one. Yeah, it's like Ticketmasters, all those other places that will sell tickets. HEB sell those tickets, so it wouldn't surprise me if they sell Houston Texas game tickets too. Back then, obviously we do shit online now, but back then when those services wasn't relatively available, back then you did what you had to do. I made sure on when did those tickets go on sale? Those tickets went on sale in 2008, like fall 2008. So I bought it then and I put them tickets in my room, right down the top shelf in the closet. Left it there to essentially collect dust. I ain't losing this motherfucking ticket. On God, I'm not losing this ticket. I put it right there. This goes nowhere, and go about the rest of my life. Months come by. Every now and then, I'll go there check it to see if it's still there. Because if it wasn't, I was gonna whoop my father's ass. I was gonna whoop my little brother's ass. I was gonna whoop my little sister's ass. And people who don't live in the house anymore, I was gonna whoop their ass. Trust me, had that tickets became lost, somebody was gonna die. I was a very passionate WWE fan back then, and I'm still am now. Now everything's digital, so I don't have to worry about anyone going through my phone. When I buy tickets, I make sure I download it to the wallet app, and it stays there, and I go about my business. So yeah, that was me back then. But going back to that night, because that was a very very stacked WrestleMania card, and essentially I'm glad that they do 2 night formats now because putting WrestleMania all in one night, um, it's not a format that I recommend because after that match, I'll be honest, the Randy Orton and Triple H match was kind of here and there, hard for me to stay awake, but we managed to get through it. So just one sidebar: the 2 night WrestleMania matches. As somebody who went to WrestleMania, trust me, 2 nights is a great idea. But going back to this, the storytelling, John Cena taking a beating is almost impossible. Um, for John Cena to get this win. Then it happened. You had um, Big Show in the corner. You had Edge get on top of him, like trying to put him in a sleeper hold or chokehold. Keep in mind, Big Show's 7 feet tall. Edge is tall his damn self. Let me make that loud clear, but he's not 7 feet tall. Got on there and try to choke Big Show out, put him to sleep. What did John Cena do? He got up there and he lifted up both of them man on his shoulders at the same time. Now, the only thing I wish, maybe Edge made a decision. I was like, you ain't about to you ain't about to shorten my career. Not like this. He held up both of them. And F back then, I think it was called FU back then. Maybe it was called A. I don't remember. He had both people up, and that was unprecedented. No one has ever seen that. So, um, however much, yeah, I'm gonna ignore that. So, 500 pound Big Show actually 440, actually 440. So, and Edge is easily 200. Well, Edge is easily 220 back then. So you're lifting over 600 pounds, and Cena is a powerhouse. To lift those up, everybody, and this is during the prime John Cena. Let's go, Cena. Cena sucks. Where people say Cena sucks is a lot louder than the positive chance because that's women and children mostly. And I'll call obviously the men hate that. But there's some things just like you cannot hate. It's like whoa. And we thought he was gonna do a double AA, but Edge made a executive decision. You ain't short in my life, so Big Show AA. Then he grabbed Edge and did an AA on Edge, but it landed on Big Show. Edge rolled out the wing, rolled out the ring, and John Cena got the pin. 1, 2, 3, and new WWE Heavyweight Champion John Cena. Pyros went off in the ring, and also, ladies and gentlemen, those pyros was amplified that night. I almost have to cover my ears, but I thug it out and did it. So I forgot what number that was for John Cena. I really did. I don't want to say. I want to say 9 for some reason. Well, that was John Cena's ninth of now 17. I'm gonna have to go back and look it up. But to be there, to see John Cena celebrate with the fans, mostly haters, but to see that was my most memorable moment of John Cena because I actually got a chance to see Superman in real time. Because keep in mind, John Cena has never did that because he never successfully did a double AA, and I think that's more so on the top wrestler whoever stacked up against. The only time he did it correctly was Survivor Series against Judgment Day, where he did a double. He successfully executed a double AA. Shout out to Finn Balor and JD McDonough for making sure he got this off. He successfully did it. I was like, that's how you do a double AA. I'm glad he was able to get that underneath his belt on his way out the door. I get it, Intercontinental Championship, which is a Grand Slam. So I totally understand that. I totally get that. Right place, right time, right moment. Get that to him, and obviously in Boston, Massachusetts, John Cena's hometown, which is not the far from Westbury, Massachusetts, New Massachusetts. Then get the title back to Dom in San Diego, which is Dom's hometown, and Dominic Mysterio needed that moment. So that was my appreciation for that. John Cena, that was my most memorable moment. Let me hurry this up. Tonight, Saturday night main event, John Cena's final match. Uh, who do we got? We have Bailey versus Soruka. You have the World Tag Team Champion, excuse me, AJ Styles and Dragon Lee versus Javon Evans, and TNA X Division Champion Leon Slater. And you have the undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes versus NXT Champion Oba Family. That was a great promo that Obafemi cut on SmackDown yesterday. I'm glad the audience was a little bit more in tune to Oba's promo versus how they do the other talent that comes from NXT. This comes to no surprise as nobody, ladies and gentlemen. Obafemi is ready. Obafemi is ready to jump ships and go to the main roster. He has it. What's his name? Javon Evans is already there. He had an exceptional match against the Miz, so he's already ready. Because I was a little bit skeptical on the stature of Javon Evans. Like, is he really going to make it to the main roster? I think he's gonna do just fine. Granted, he's gonna put on muscle. He's gonna put on more muscles. We know that. So Javon Davis gonna be just fine. Obafemi is ready right here, right now. He is ready to take that spotlight. That promo that he cut was great. That was a great promo to cut at that time with that person. I like it. I love it. I am a supporter of Obafemi. Let's go ahead and get Oba Femi roster ready. Expect to see Oba Femi in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia this coming January or February, whenever the Royal Rumble's at. He's going to be in there. Now, winning, obviously not, but he is going to be in there. He's going to be a dominant force. I like it. I like it. And you got Triple H running the hills, even better. Let's let it happen. Now, match John Cena versus Gunther. John Cena versus Gunther. Gunther said this. Gunther was asked this on First Take by I forgot either Stephen A. or the host. Is this a passing of the torch? And the answer is easily yes. This is easily yes. Gunther is proven to lead this company. Like I said, if there's anybody you want to invest back then, I said two wrestlers. I said Damian Priest, and I don't mind the path that Damian Priest is on because he's going to get back to that world championship path in the next year. I'm not worried about that. But Gunther, he's ready. He's been proven ready. 666 days as Intercontinental Champion, two-time uh, World Heavyweight Champion, and was able to go through the gauntlet, the My Time Is Now tournament. Did not think he was going to win that match versus LA Knight, but he did. With the new submission move that I haven't seen him perform before. Not to say I haven't visualized that move, but I haven't seen him perform it, but he did. And now we're here. He already retired Bill Goldberg at Saturday Night Main Event. Will he retire John Cena tonight? Will Gunther retire John Cena tonight? And I guarantee you, if he does this tonight, pencil Gunther into the Hall of Fame. Yes, I said it. If Gunther retires John Cena tonight, pencil him into the Hall of Fame. It's over. It's like it's that done. He don't even have to win another world champion. But Gunther's that type of guy. Like, you better give me that title. And like I said, I like Gunther. That's what I said. I will invest a lot of money in Gunther. So what do we expect tonight? Do I expect that alternate Cena uh entrance? A new entrance music? No, it's not happening. I've been waiting for that. Matter of fact, that interview that he does with Tom Rinaldi when they play the clips with the horn, I was expecting that to be his new entrance music. But of course, that didn't happen. But it is what it is. Whatever. So because of that, split views make it easier to whatever. So with that, who's gonna win that match? That's a good question. I really don't know. I'm about to be honest. I do believe. Usually, here's one thing. Batista said this on I forgot what late night show he was. I want to say it was one of the Jimmys, but it's over when you're pinned on your back, looking up at the lights. Goldberg was pinned on his back, looking up the lights, and he knew it was over. Ric Flair was pinned on his back, looking up at the lights, and he knew it was over. Shawn Michaels originally, before they did what the I don't know what the hell that was a few years back, um, pinned at WrestleMania 26 on his back, looking up the lights. It was over. The Royal Rumble from 2001. Uh, yeah, if that was The Rock, what up, Baldy? That was The Rock, beating. No, 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 no. I don't know. That wasn't. I don't think that was. Let me think. That wasn't The Rock beating the Big Show because that was the year before. It was Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm sorry. Stone Cold Steve Austin won that match. Yeah, Austin won. I have to think about that because Rock won the year before, and also won that year because he was already set to go there. And at that time, Kurt Angle was the heavyweight champion, and No Way Out was the next pay per view, and The Rock beat Kurt Angle for that title, to which set up WrestleMania 17 at the Astrodome, Rock versus Stone Cold, which was probably one of the biggest uh, heel turns that we ever seen at that time. Obviously, John Cena's heel turn earlier this year will go down in history. That I don't think that's going to be replicated. Like it's not going to be matched to that degree ever. But that's where it was at. At that time, that was the biggest heel turn ever. WrestleMania, you sold your soul to the devil for the championship, and you proceeded to whoop the Rock's ass with that steel chair. Yep, that's what that was. Hey man, those were some good days, man. Those were some good days, man. But regarding tonight, I'm a sucker for good story endings. I'm gonna say John Cena wins tonight, his final match versus Gunther. I'm gonna say he wins, but if Gunther wins, pencil him into the Hall of Fame. Like I said, what he did with the Intercontinental Championship, 2 times World Heavyweight Champion, his storytelling is superb, and so is his mic skills. Yeah, puts him in the Hall of Fame if he was to pin John Cena tonight, but I don't see it happening. I don't. So shout out to the GOAT that is John Cena. Want to take a moment to say thank you to John Cena for the memorable moments, 23 years in counting. Well, this will be the final year. So, and real quick before we go, what will John Cena do after that? In his interview with Tom Bernardo, which I really need to go sit down and watch it in its entirety because I'm going through this Chris Van Vliet interview right now. He will be ambassador for WWE for the next 5 years. He signed off for the WWE 5 years to be an ambassador. Will he be wrestling? No. Today's his last match, but he will be an ambassador. He will be around for the next 5 years. So he's adamant that this is his last match. I get it. He understands that he's not going to keep up with the new talent. I don't. And every now and then, if you guys go back to listen to me in Cell's conversation, even Cell will point it out. He's like, John Cena's not looking like John Cena. Oh, I said, I know. He's not supposed to. If he did, that's more of an indictment on the younger generation. But then again, there's Brock Lesnar, but Brock Lesnar only wrestles once every season. So yeah, it's time to hang it up. It's time to hang it up. John Cena, you already got 17. Um, the only person that's next in line that's still active is Randy Orton. Do I think he's going to reach 18? No, I don't. I don't see him winning another championship. But I, I've been wrong before. We'll see. And of course, next year you got AJ Styles retiring. Well, and we'll definitely be here for that. Trust me. So AJ Styles, that's another one. We'll talk about that next year when we do a AJ Styles Appreciation Day. But let's get out of here. John Cena, you are goaded. I knew you was goaded back then, but it is official now. The never seen 17, the last real champion, John Cena. And to that, a round of applause for the greatest of all time, ladies and gentlemen, John Cena. But let's get out of here. Shout out to everybody that pulled up. Shout out to my brother Sel. I know this was a last minute thing, but there's no way I was going to make sure that we didn't do John Cena appreciation. I appreciate him so much that I'm gonna be late for work, so I need to go. Let's get out of here, y'all. If you want more content like this, like, subscribe, and share. Follow me and Sel on all our followings. Links are located in the description. And like I said, let's get the numbers up for Wrestling Wednesday. I'm trying to see something real quick. Because on my regular YouTube page, which we're streaming right now, we are doing a Cash App giveaway. We're almost there to 1,000 subscribers. Um, when it comes to Wrestling Wednesday, baby steps. As I always say, it's baby steps. When we get to um, let me see something. Jesus Christ, why is it not pulling up? Thank you. Let's do this. What the hell? Okay, there it is. All right. When we get to, I'll do it on my wrestling channel, Wrestling Wednesday. When we get to 50. When we get our subscribers up, we're gonna do Cash App giveaway. I know we're sitting at 45 because this is predicated on the work ethic that I put in on this channel, and that's gonna trust me, that's gonna change a lot. You got my word. So once we get the Wrestling Wednesday channel up, we're gonna start giving away cash. We're gonna start doing Cash App giveaways on the channel as a celebration for a milestone that we're hitting. As far as watch hours, I think we're good on that, but we just need to get the subscribers up. So let's go ahead and do that. So you get the subscribers up on Wrestling Wednesdays. We can start doing the Cash App giveaway on Wrestling Wednesdays. So just wanted to throw that out there. But I want to say thank you guys for tuning in. This is Wrestling Wednesday. My name is Christopher J. Thank you, John Cena. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Talk to you guys on Wednesday. Peace out.